These are the 10 best Kingdom Hearts boss battles in the entire series. Now, we've done the most difficult and the worst boss battles out there. With difficulty, you have a metric to rate it on with how much of an issue the boss is giving you. And with the worst, it mattered about those bosses who felt like they stole the most time from me. But with the best out there, this is going to be my most subjective video yet. In the Kingdom Hearts series, the boss battles can stand alongside some of gaming's most elite. While most may look at Kingdom Hearts as another Disney property, those who play the games know how grand these fights can become. From engaging combat to how the fight ties into the narrative, Kingdom Hearts finds a way to keep the story moving forward while also kicking our butts. It's also one of the very few video games out there where the boss battles are actually reactive to the player's actions. Enemies will move out of the way after a few hits and stagger when caught in a combo. It's the way that the Kingdom Hearts combat has been able to stand out when compared to other action games. For this video, I'll be looking at every entry and picking my personal favorite boss battles, the ones that have stuck with me throughout the years, and sometimes I occasionally boot up the games to rematch. Unlike the other videos, this one is going to be more of my connection to these boss battles. It might be a lot of personal storytelling, but that's what makes these moments so special in gaming. The pinnacle of Kingdom Hearts boss battles is present in this video because of the vibe they gave me, the way the battle made me feel from introduction to conclusion. But before I get into my own list, give me your top 3 Kingdom Hearts boss battles. I mean, you can put an entire top 10 there with there being dozens of different fights throughout the entire series, but 3 keeps it simple and clean. And while you're down there, please be sure to hit that like button. The other 2 boss battle videos we put out have exploded well beyond where I thought they would be, and it's because of those likes. The YouTube machine just eats them up. Also, quick thing, we hit 20,000 subscribers on this channel. Just wanted to say a quick thank you for helping us hit this milestone. But without further ado, these are my top 10 best Kingdom Hearts boss battles. Starting off with a game that I don't even really like that much, the Rinzler battle is one of my favorites that has stuck with me. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance isn't as potent when it comes to the combat content. While the battle itself may seem basic, it is one of the few times where Sora is able to fight someone in his own weight class in this game. A lot of the Dream Eater bosses are usually massive and tower over our protagonist, but with Rinzler, this is a battle built upon the context of Kingdom Hearts 2, when back in that game Sora met Tron while visiting the Space Paranoids, and the boys went on grand adventures within the digital world, providing each other with friendship and conflict resolution to their places within the world. Now, Rinzler is a version of Tron that has been altered by Clue to serve him, and throughout the entire visit of the grid, Sora is just trying to help him recover his friend. It's one of the few times in Kingdom Hearts where we get an emotional moment between Sora and a Disney character, because we know Sora loves Tron, and to see him turn into Rinzler was a heart-wrenching experience. The setup for this fight is inside of a roaring arena, where Sora is just looking around the spectators. I really like how the announcer calls Sora Combatant 13 in reference to Roxas's number in the organization.
Combatant 13 versus Rinzler.
When the fight finally begins, you'll be able to block his disc. That reminds me a lot of the Commander Sark reaction command, where Sora needs to send back the disc to his original user. And overall, Rinzler is just incredibly agile during this battle. He will flip over the arena for a little while and will dive into Sora with a massive clash. Since it's a fairly early fight into the game, it's not too difficult to get through. Once the fight is over, Sora will attempt to restore Tron back to his normal self. The method he uses reminds me a lot of the limit between Tron and Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2, but when it all seems like everything is going to be okay, Clue attempts to attack Sora with Tron jumping in the way, only for the last second the glass breaking under him, causing Tron to fall, and Sora reaches out with one final attempt to catch him. With Tron reaching out, showing that Sora after that entire battle was finally able to reach his friend. For a memorable boss battle, I try and consider all the context around it first. While the battle was simple in itself, it is a fight against a Disney friend of ours, and that doesn't happen too often throughout the series. It was a full spectacle and was really a shining star for me when playing through Dream Drop Distance.
Maybe we're walking the wrong path, but our hearts will lead us back to the truth.
The data organization battles in Kingdom Hearts 2 are amongst the strongest in the series. Being exclusive to the Final Mix version of the game, it featured 13 new battles with the organization, all of which are much more difficult than earlier versions of the game. Although only half of the organization appears throughout the game, as the other half is dead. I could honestly put anyone in this section, since each of these has its own highs and lows of course, but to save space on this list I'm not going to put multiple, I'm only going to put one. The personal favorite of mine has got to be Lexaeus. This is the first time Sora is facing off against him, as the only appearance of Lexaeus was brought to an end by Riku in Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. This was Sora's first encounter with him, and it left an impact on me. While not the most difficult of the bunch, he does have a few unique tricks up his sleeve. For starters, he has this power meter that's a metric of how angry he is. If the number is too high, Sora will not be able to attack him. That is until you smack him with Mega Impact, which causes him to calm down immediately.
This is you. This is your badness level. It's unusually high for someone your size.
A big thing that's important for me in this fight is that I was beginning to understand the value of Reflect. Most of his moves can take up the entire arena, leaving Sora very few options to evade, but with Reflect I was able to safely get where I needed to go while dishing out some extra damage. There are also two incredibly brutal scenes that take place during this fight. It's a small cutscene within the battle that shows Lexaeus' true power, and not very many other bosses have something like this. I also like how he earthbends those giant rock spires towards Sora. While being a pretty slow boss fight, the impact of every single one of Lexaeus' swings hit me right in the chest. This is one of those boss fights that I come back to whenever I boot up Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Similar to the Rinsler fight in Dream Drop Distance, the Data Xion fight scratches that itch of wanting to beat up my friends. When it was revealed that Xion was going to be a part of the new Organization 13, many were curious if that meant we were going to fight her. When the game finally released, we saw that not only was that true, but she would have her own Data fight in the Remind DLC. Similar to Kingdom Hearts 2, the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC added 13 new boss battles for its Limit Cut episode. The thing that makes Xion so special is that I didn't think they were going to include her. Eventually, she becomes an ally for the team, so being able to battle her without limitations is incredible. I like how she has a hood over her head, showing that this version is the one that the organization created originally. You also need to unlock this battle by clearing out the other 11 battles first, making Xion something that you had to earn, which I love.
Oh my god, that hurts. Why is it a Kingdom Key?
For Remind, they also remade all the themes for each of the boss battles individually, so hearing a new version of Xion's theme was incredible. Now, I haven't even talked about the fight itself. It's one of the most difficult in the game. You really need to respect Xion as she will send spires of light towards Sora. She even has a move that will completely stun Sora in his place if you aren't careful. Finding all the openings to get in some combos is so stressful because she just never seems to stop appearing. It's also really cool to see light being used as a weapon by our enemies. But of my favorite detail of this battle is when she's in her desperation move. She'll get incredibly aggressive with her attacks, but she'll change the background to this sunset look. It's a small detail, but definitely a reference to her time in Twilight Town with her friends. I love it when boss battles are able to incorporate parts of the stories into them. She also definitely is responsible for taking most of my Kupo coins.
And yoink.
I place Xaldin in my Kingdom Hearts most difficult boss battles, and he is also one of my favorites. When I was a kid, I was also a victim of many deaths from these wind lances, hoping every time that King Mickey would swoop in and save the day, only then to find that my screen would go black and Sora would be floating in darkness all by himself.
Why didn't Mickey rescue me that one time? He rescued me like 5 times last time.
A big part of this one is the location, actually. Most of the battles with Organization 13 take place throughout the world that never was, while Xaldin decided to do things differently by doing it in front of Beast's front yard. I think it's so cool that this arena is essentially a giant rectangle. Even in the data battle, they kept his location on the bridge instead of moving him to a generic arena. I've always been a big fan of when Kingdom Hearts really mixes its main plot with the Disney stuff, and for one of the game's most difficult boss battles to take place in the same world that Gaston originates from,
I use antlers in all of my decorating.
it's awesome. His whole moveset is designed around the space around him. With his desperation move, he shoots a giant wind cannon that seems unavoidable from the sides. But when you really get down to it, this battle isn't too difficult. Once you learn the jump command by blocking his attacks, it becomes much easier to deal with his movements. It's a lot of waiting and getting ready to pounce when the time is right. I also think it's so cool when the boss is able to carry more than 2 weapons at a time. But to bring back to Mickey Mouse, this is where he made his appearance the most when I was growing up. I guess this is the location where I just died the most, or else why else would he even be here? Being able to send Pearl Magic and deal with most of his HP was the way I dealt with this usually. I'd just res Sora when I was done and then just sneeze on him with some magic. Thank you, Your Majesty. Now, this is a boss fight that can only be experienced if you played the original version of Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. As the game was remade into a movie, you lost a lot of the smaller moments throughout the story, including the setup for one of the game's biggest battles. In earlier missions, the player is tasked with placing machines around various Disney worlds. It's later revealed that those machines are offering power to Xion to make her stronger, and that's a massive part of the final battle that is missing from the movie version. In the DS version, Roxas will battle Xion throughout different phases throughout different worlds. She'll start off in Wonderland, teleport over to Halloween Town, then over to Agrabah, where she'll summon 4 swords at once. All of it leads to the final clash in front of the clock tower in Twilight Town. Her battle theme has been echoed through Kingdom Hearts fans' playlists for years since it dropped. Not only is it an emotional battle where 2 friends are forced to tear each other apart, but it does that magical Disney thing where every arena is a place we've previously been to. And while this isn't the true final battle of the game, it feels like the true ending boss. The game's biggest fight knew to include Disney, and the overall experience was improved because of it. Xion having different battle styles with every world she visited is something I wish more boss battles did. Experiencing this on the original DS is much more enjoyable than watching the movie. The art style is just so endearing, and the movie doesn't capture the full world wideness of the battle. It's just the final part, which by the way, they ended up patching packing in more fight scenes down the line. In the original Days movie release, the final battle was so boneless that they had to add in more action later, which is nuts. I've never heard of a game patching a cutscene. I do hope that we get a full Kingdom Hearts Days remake down the line, because I would love to experience this fight again in full HD like it deserves. Days is also a game that I don't go back to very often, but this fight has always stuck with me throughout the years. In Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, after defeating all 11 of the first organization data battles, you unlock 2 more. The first one I mentioned in this list already with Data Shion, but Data Xehanort was something on an entirely new level. I know I said I wouldn't include multiple from the data organizations when mentioning Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm someone who adores Kingdom Hearts 2, but Kingdom Hearts 3's data battles are on an entirely new level, and 3 of those battles are actually occupying spaces on this list. Because damn, Remind really just went off, and I can't believe how well crafted these battles are. When talking about Master Xehanort, this is what I wanted the final battle to be. Xehanort is displaying what it means to be a real Keyblade master. He uses a variety of elemental, light, and dark magic throughout the entire battle. Similar to his original fight, it will be a lot of dodging pillars of light. But Xehanort is a lot more aggressive this time around, teleporting around the map and using Keyblade transformations as part of his combat. I like how he's using the X-Blade for this fight, and all the transformations are for that Keyblade. Everything that Sora has in his kit is used by Xehanort in some way, shape, or form. I remember this battle taking me several hours because of how tough it was to finally get everything down.
Can I not block the fire either? Ah! And then, yes, okay. All right, download commence. All right, he's gonna do it twice now, twice. And then this one. Yes, let's go.
I also like how his battle has the moon of Kingdom Hearts lingering in the background. His attack patterns are also staggered, making it often where I would block too early and get punished for it. Like, if you spam dodge roll or block in this fight, you're gonna get bodied for it. Even during his desperation move, I would decide to summon Simba because I knew I was not downloading the dodges and rolls needed for that. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind also made it so you needed to beat all 13 members of the organization in order to continue the story, which many thought was pretty brutal of Square Enix to do, but I loved it, as Data Xehanort was the final bit I had to do before being able to progress. Finally pulling off that victory and unlocking the secret episode is one I won't forget for a long time. When I was a kid, I played Kingdom Hearts 2 on the original PS2. I had no context to what Final Mix content was, as we just got the vanilla version. I played Kingdom Hearts 2 dozens of times, and as a kid, one day I went on YouTube and I saw that someone uploaded a battle against Roxas. Now, I thought they were hacking or did something that I missed throughout my playthrough because I did not have access to this fight. I remember thinking if I was able to 100% the game, I would unlock the Roxas fight, only to find that this was just some content that we never got. Fortunately, they did add Final Mix content in the 2014 re-release, and I finally got to do this battle. And it was definitely worth all the delusional hype I was going through as a child. To start the game as a different playable character and then have that playable character become a boss is one of my favorite video game tropes. The entire time Roxas is fighting first place in this world, and with one final attempt against Sora in his dive to the heart, as both of our heroes leave their current reality to settle this existence beef. And it's such a dope battle on top of that. Roxas is one of the toughest, as he can be super aggressive with Oathkeeper and Oblivion. Similar to Shion's data battle, Roxas will use Pillars of Light to close the distance. And the music that's playing, being a battle version of Another Promise, is so thematically pleasing. Like, this fight is literally taking place inside of Sora's heart, and with limit form you're able to dish out tons of damage. Combine it with Vicinity Slash and Sora uses 3 Keyblades at the same time. Every attack is emphasized with more damage. I talk more about this reaction command in my reaction command video if you haven't seen that already, but it's a big part of what makes the Roxas battle so dope. It's one of Kingdom Hearts 2's strongest in every regard. It's emotional because you don't want to fight a character that you've grown to love, but then he whips your butt and it's time for a complete change of heart. It's time to sit up and stop playing. This is another one of those where I just boot up the game for a couple rounds because of how enjoyable it is. Roxas is just one for the ages.
You make a good other.
To close out my love for Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, my favorite of all these battles is with Data Xemnas. First, the music they used is his theme from Dream Drop Distance, which I appreciate. And like I said, they redid all the music, but oh my god, wow, they absolutely cooked with this one.
Yo! Stop, this song's fire. Wait.
The reason I like this battle so much is because it recontextualizes Xemnas' moveset from the other game. Like, we got the White Lightning that you got reversal from in Kingdom Hearts 2, but now they grab you, repositioning Sora and throwing off the player's flow. In Kingdom Hearts 2, Xemnas would set up some walls to protect himself from Sora. Now he uses the walls to throw Sora in for some aerial combos, which is insane to even say out loud.
Whoa. Whoa.
There's so much sauce that comes out of Data Xemnas in this battle, and I haven't even started talking about his DM, where he will surround the entire arena with lasers. Back in Kingdom Hearts 2, you could block these with the reaction command. Now, you better get good at reading them lasers. If you miss the block, then you're gonna get shot into infinity. There are also these blue lasers that are unblockable, forcing players to roll, but blocking and dodging all these lasers feels so good. It feels like a playable version of the Kingdom Hearts 2 lasers, which scratches that certain nostalgic itch. Most of the Xemnas battles throughout the series have been pretty good, but this is my all-time favorite. It also feels the most fair, as I don't feel Xemnas is cheating me anytime I get caught by one of his moves. Remind has brought every member of the organization to new heights, but Xemnas is the most special for me. As an original PlayStation 2 owner, we only know the true pain of Kingdom Hearts 1, when you would face off against a boss battle and if you lost, you had to watch the cutscene again. It wasn't until the re-release that they added the ability to skip cutscenes.
Praise be to God!
And if you could think of one moment in Kingdom Hearts 1 where you would have just loved to be able to skip cutscenes, because it was so long and the battle after it was super tough. If you played the game, you know exactly which one I'm talking about.
It is I, Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. Open the door. Lead me into everlasting darkness.
Forget it. There's no way you're taking Kairi's heart.
It is I, Ansem,
The Seeker of Darkness. Open the door. Lead me to everlasting darkness.
It's on repeat.
I can hear this cutscene in my sleep. The battle with Riku Ansem at the end of Hollow Bastion is my favorite in Kingdom Hearts 1. Throughout the entire game, we've encountered Riku in various worlds and have conflicted ideologies.
You're stupid.
Between kidnapping puppets to study its heart or commanding an army of Heartless on a pirate ship, Riku has always taunted Sora long before their departure from Destiny Islands, mocking him because of his feelings towards Kairi, and ultimately being the big dog out of the group. Well, this is finally the opportunity to put the beats on him for all that he's done. That's another one of those video game tropes that I like a lot, when the main character has a rival who's taunting him throughout the entire adventure.
Hey, cut it out!
And then you finally get to lay hands on them. I adore it. While it's not technically Riku as Ansem is possessing him in this moment, it is the toughness of the battle that stands out. Riku will try to bait Sora throughout the fight by taking a step back, and he's so fast you'll likely be punished for comboing him too much. You need to take a step back and block it in order to even stand a chance. In harder difficulties, this boss felt nearly impossible, and if you lost in the original PlayStation release, get prepared to watch that cutscene all over again.
Open the door. Lead me to everlasting darkness.
His desperation move is also super scary, as he'll dash around the room with rapid strikes. And the camera for Kingdom Hearts 1 isn't exactly the greatest, so it's a bit difficult to keep track of the action. But finally bringing down Riku after he's been running his mouth throughout the entire game, easily one of the best experiences I've had in the series. As for my favorite Kingdom Hearts boss battle of all time, come on, I'm a Kingdom Hearts 2 fanboy, can you even blame me?
Such a puppy.
Oh my God. He is so hot.
Even when I was a kid, I thought vanilla Kingdom Hearts 2 was super easy. Getting through the game as a child only gave me a few bumps with Zaldin and maybe Xemnas, but overall I was able to get through the game with very little issues. Then I remembered coming across Sephiroth and it opened an entirely new world for me. This was the first boss I ever deemed as difficult in the game, and it really made me focus a lot more. It allowed me to see the deeper mechanics behind Kingdom Hearts, like revenge values and waiting to strike, because if I just went in there trying to handle it like I did with every other boss, swing the Keyblade, maybe block a couple times, heal I should be fine, yeah, that wasn't working, I was getting bodied.
But that was then, and this is now. What intriguing power.
Sephiroth made me sit up in Kingdom Hearts 2. I was only 10 years old when this game came out. I didn't know the power of that stat boost. In this battle, Sephiroth can take you out with just a few hits of his sword. He's quickly teleporting and slinging out dark magic to deal with. If you mess up even a little bit, it will be game over. I mentioned this battle in my 10 hardest Kingdom Hearts bosses because this one is literally a core memory for me. I remember sitting up on my bed and being so defeated. It was a real awakening experience and the first time that I thought Kingdom Hearts 2 can be difficult. And that higher echelon of gameplay is something that I would look forward to with every future release. It's why I'm so invested in the secret bosses whenever they release a new game for the series, as I know that these will be the pinnacle of gameplay where I'm really put to my limits. Sephiroth showed me the way and I will always remember that. This boss is what transcended me from a casual Kingdom Hearts player to all-out obsessed. And here we are all these years later.
Such a puppy.
This will conclude my Kingdom Hearts boss battle stuff for a while, at least until Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out, since I think I hit them all. These 10 boss fights have elevated Kingdom Hearts to me in a way that I wouldn't even believe. From story to combat to the arena that the battle takes place in. All of it comes together to create a moment that makes us feel triumphant. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and stay awesome.